Welcome back, students. So in this lecture we are continuing our magnetic effect of currents, and we will learning the force on a current carrying conductor. Okay, last topic what you have learned, force on a charge moving through some magnetic field, right? Force was q v v sin theta, remember? Okay, so in this topic we are learning force on a current carrying conductor. Some wire or some element is placed inside a magnetic field and has some current, then it will experience some force. That force you want to calculate in this topic. Okay, so topic name is what? Force on a current carrying conductor placed in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, this conductor means could be like open loop, means a straight wire or zigzag wire, or maybe a closed loop also. We will see what happens. Okay, okay, so you have some type of wire, okay, any shape of wire of some you place inside some magnetic field, and it has some current. Suppose this is a magnetic field I am showing. Cross means magnetic field is what? Inward, right? So, and it has some current I. This is a magnetic field B, correct? This is a wire of length L, correct? And it carrying some current I, then is placed inside a uniform magnetic field of strength B. Then how much force it will experience? So it's given by a simple formula. It's called magnetic force is equal to I L cross B. Or this is a vector form. I write in scalar form. Force is called I L B sin theta. This is what? Scalar form. What is the force experienced by this conductor is what? Current. How much current flowing through that conductor? Length of the conductor and magnetic field. Length means what? Always remember that length coming here. Proper meaning of length is what? Here I should like displacement, shortest length. Okay, shortest length, or you call it in like displacement. Okay, I will explain what's the meaning of this. Okay, so depends on four things: current, length. Okay, what's the current flowing through that wire, what is the length of that wire, what is the magnetic field strength, and the angle between what? The length and what? Magnetic field, correct? Now, length means the direction of the current. Suppose like current is flowing upward, then angle between length and magnetic field, some angle here, suppose this direction of magnetic field inward, then this angle is what? Your theta. Okay. Okay, so it's clearly you can see that suppose if theta is equal to 0 or 180 degree, what's the meaning of this? Your conductor or wire is placed parallel or anti-parallel to magnetic field. Anti-parallel to magnetic field, then you will see that it will experience no force. Then you will see F will be what? 0. It will not experience any force. Like here I have drawn magnetic field inward, perpendicular to this board, and what? Inward. So I put a wire like this way, right, into the boards and perpendicular to the board. Again it will not experience any force. When the angle between length and what? Your magnetic field is 0, 180, it will not experience any force. Or you say if theta is equal to what? 90 degree, correct na? Then wire means wire is placed perpendicular to your magnetic field. Wire is placed perpendicular to what? Your magnetic field. So in this case your wire will experience what? Maximum force, right? I L B, that will be your maximum force. So when wire is placed perpendicular to magnetic field, like here magnetic field is into the board, you put a wire on the board itself like this way, that way, anyway, always become perpendicular, right? So force will be what? Maximum, correct? Okay, two things we are interested, one is direction and one the meaning of this, and this is very important. Okay. So first I talk about direction of the force. Okay, yes. Suppose a small wire I am putting here. You want to know what is the direction of force on this wire. Okay, yes. So look here, direction of force. You have two ways to do again. One is your vector method, one is what? You have hand rule. Okay, vector method you want to use vector rule, then it's very simple. What's the rule? That formula that F vector is equal to what? I L cross what? B. You write the direction of length, you write direction of magnetic field, that gives direction of the force. For example, this we apply here for this case. Okay, or I draw a separate equation here. Suppose this is the equation that this is a magnetic field direction given into the board, and wire is placed here straight like this way, and current is like this way. Okay, of length L. You want to know what is the direction of force on this wire. in which direction this wire will move. So vector rule, look at vector rule, you say F is equal to, okay, yes, length is what? Upward, means direction of current. Look here, it's IL current element, so it's what? Upward. Upward means what? Your J direction, right? Correct. Magnetic field is into the board, so minus K direction. J cross K is called what? Minus I, right? Minus I and 1 minus is here becomes what? Plus I. Means this wire will move in what? That direction. Correct. Now actually, if you don't understand the vector rule, then we have hand rule. So this is called right hand rule again. Right hand rule, correct. Listen carefully. So far in this chapter, at least I think 5 times this right hand rule came at different places, right now. So you should not confuse. What you can do, please find out all this right hand rule and put in one separate page and write that for which case what rule we use and what's the meaning of these fingers and we use, okay. So right hand rule, what right hand rule says that if your thumb shows direction of current, then index finger shows direction of your field, magnetic field, then your middle finger will show direction of what? Force. So this is a right hand rule. So watch it. Suppose this is right hand, you want to apply for this question, okay. So look here, the index finger shows direction of field, field is inward, and thumb shows direction of the thumb shows direction of current. So small mistake here. Look here, vector multiplication I, J and K. Yes, here I wrote little wrong. So we're getting J cross K. That's called what? I. So minus there, so it should be minus I here. So force is not in this direction. Force should be actually in that direction towards minus I. Okay, minus X. Now it's okay. This rule is okay. There's no problem in this rule. So I'm saying I did a mistake here. J cross K is called what? I. So answer comes minus I means what? Towards the left direction. Okay. Now let's see hand rule. Your thumb is going inward. No, thumb shows direction of current which is upward. This index finger shows field inward. So force is what? Towards the left. Okay. This is your right hand rule. So direction of the force on a current carrying element you're finding. You have 2 rules: vector method or what? Your right hand rule. Okay. Yeah. Now, what's important thing here is what? Meaning of this length. I said this length is just like shortest length of your displacement. Okay. Suppose some pictures given to you. They said this type of element is placed inside a magnetic field. Okay. This is the element placed inside. This is a wire. Okay, and it's carrying some current I. There's a place in some magnetic field like this way. Okay. Then I ask you, what is net force acting on this wire? Magnetic field given, current given, and some shapes are given. So what we need? Length. In length in formula means what? The shorter distance from here to here, means end to end distance from point A to point B, this straight distance, that's what your length in that formula. You don't worry about this curvature or what shape. Okay, end to end distance, straight distance, that's what your force. So force is like this. I'm saying I L B sine theta only. Okay, I will give some numerical example here to understand this more. Okay, let's see. Suppose I write some question here. Find force on the given conductor. Okay, suppose I say some field is there, dot field, and some conductor is placed inside this field. Okay, so this is your conductor, suppose. Okay, current flowing this direction of strength what? I. B is the magnetic field. That distance let's call R. This a semicircle of radius R, that distance we call also what? R. Then what is the net force acting on this? Okay, this you want to know. So watch it. Look on this part. This part over here is a straight line, right now. So magnetic force on this part is what? You say B is equal to, F is equal to what? I L. L means what? R given, and magnetic field B. Then on this part we need from here to here circular arc, but distance will be this much only, right? We need straight distance always. So magnetic field on this much part is what? F will be I length. Length means what? 2r, straight distance into what? B. That's a magnetic force. On this part, third part, force will be I, length is again straight length given r, and what? B. Correct. So what is net force? All force in same direction, so you can add them. 4 times I r b, that's the net force. Suppose they ask direction of force also, in which direction this conductor is moving. You can use your hand rule or you can use your vector rule. Suppose you use hand rule, then magnetic field is what? Outward. So look here, thumb shows current is towards me, thumb field is outward, correct? So force acting on this wire will be what? Downward. This is the direction of the force, almost what? Downward. Okay, let's see some more example. Same question says find net force. Okay, find net force on the given conductor. Okay, I'm writing short, just find net force. This question was asked in our exam. Look here, some field was given, let's say crossed field inward. Okay, some strength was given, let's say something, suppose 2 Tesla magnetic field is given, and a wire was given of this shape, like this shape wire. Okay, and current flowing through that wire was given, suppose current I say 5 ampere something. Okay, and the length of this element was given, this was given 4 centimeter, this was given 6 centimeter, this given what? This was given 4 centimeter. Okay, so this is a wire, A, B wire. We want to find net force on this wire. Okay, so how to find? Look here, current given, magnetic field given, so we just need length. What's the length of this wire? We want to find on complete wire, so start from point A and end point A, right? We need just displacement, means straight shortest distance between the starting point and last point, right? So what is shortest distance? We know that will be the shortest distance, a straight line you draw, right? So we need that distance in real, correct? So look here, how to find? This side is given 4 centimeter, that's total given 6. So that half, this much becomes what? 3 centimeter. So you see this is a right triangle, right? We need that side 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, so that becomes what? 5 centimeter. Exactly same thing happening here. This is 4 centimeter, that becomes 3 centimeter, because total is 6 centimeter, so that also becomes 5 centimeter. Means total length from point A to point B is what? 5 plus 5, 10 centimeter, right? So how much length we got? 10 centimeter. Now you have to do your same calculation only. Force is what? ILB. Okay. So current is what? 5 ampere. Length is 10 centimeter, 0.1 meter. Magnetic field is what? 2. So this becomes what? 1 Newton. Correct? Yes. If they ask direction of force, you can write yes, direction of force. This is your right hand. Look here. Directions for that at any point, this point you're talking. Okay. Your thumb is towards this direction, right? Showing current. Field is inward, so force on this part is what? Upward. Correct? Like that. Okay? Yes. Okay. So what happens? Suppose it's a closed loop, not a wire. Okay? Just like a wire only, then you can find force on this. Suppose you have closed loop, then what happens? Closed loop. Correct. Listen carefully. Closed loop means, okay, current is okay there, like this is a loop is there, and this is placed inside a magnetic field. I am asking what is the force on this loop now. Correct? No? So what happens? In a closed loop, the displacement or the shortest distance between starting and last point is what? 0. Correct? Displacement in a closed loop like circle is what? 0. Your length is what? 0 in real, right? Na? Yes. So the force on a closed loop is always what? 0. Correct. So this is very important. I will talk this topic separately because in a closed loop the net force always becomes 0. So we will talk about what? Magnetic moment or torque. We will talk that torque will act on a closed loop. Okay. So write a very, very important sentence that if a closed loop is placed in a uniform magnetic field, correct, then the net force on it will be what? 0. It does not depend on what shape of loop you have. You have perfect like triangle, circle or any shape, but it's a closed loop. Net force will be always 0. F0, F0. Many questions have been asked about this. I will discuss. So you have a closed loop, then force is always what? 0. So for any closed loop, okay, your net force is always what? 0. Okay, very important thing. Okay. At least 4 to 5 questions they have asked theory questions based on this idea that for a closed loop is placed inside a uniform magnetic field, then net force will be what? Always 0. I give some example what they have asked. One question was asked like this in our exam, that what they said? They said there is a triangle, the loop like triangular form, some side was given A, B, C, and magnetic field was direction given like this way. Okay, this is the direction. They said magnetic field was parallel to side AB. Okay. Magnetic field was parallel to side AB. Then they said if force on this side AC was given, they said this is what F. Then they asking what is the force on this side, let's call F dash. Closed loop triangle form is placed inside magnetic field, direction of field was given parallel to what? Side AB. Then they ask that if force on side AC is what? F, then what is the force on side your BC? Correct? So listen carefully. Look here. Net force in a closed loop should be always what? 0 when it's placed in a uniform field. Clear? Very important. So look here, let's find the net force on 3 sides. This side already given what? F. What is the force on side this side AB? How much answer? 0. Why? Because this wire is placed parallel to magnetic field. Theta is what? 0 degree. So force on this wire AB is what? 0. Because force is what? ILB sin theta. Sin theta is angle between length and what? Your magnetic field. Correct? Na? So this wire AB is parallel to the direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of magnetic field given. So force on this wire is 0. Okay. Now this wire is what? F. So how much force we need on this? Obviously we need net force 0. So means this force plus that means total force like this. That force on this side is what? 0 plus this force is what? F. That force we are calling F dash. This should be again what? 0. Only net force in a closed loop is always 0. It means your F dash should be equal to what? Minus of F. That's your answer simply. Correct? Okay. Once it was asked like this way, this type of loop was given. Okay. Yes. So this type of picture was given and they said that some name were given side A, B, C, D. They said force on this side was F1, force on this side was F2, force on this side was F3. Then they are asking what is the force on this side, F dash. Correct? Na? This is a closed loop. This was placed inside a uniform magnetic field, and then they are asking force on 3 sides were given, F1, F2 and F3, right? Then they are asking what is the force on the 4th side. So what we know that net force F net should be always what? 0. For a closed loop, net force should be always 0. So 3 forces are known to us on 3 sides. Let's add them. Correct? So first you add these 2 forces, F1 and F2, right? So these are just opposite to each other, right? Angle is what? 180 degree. Force is a vector quantity. Always you have to add by vector rules only. Root A square B square plus 2AB cos theta. But these 2 forces are what? Opposite to each other. Angle is 180 degree. So directly you can subtract, right? Hope you remember all these shortcuts, that A square B square plus 2AB cos theta. Any 2 vector you want to add, you have this rule. Suppose angle is what? 0 degree. Correct? Then answer becomes directly A plus B. Angle is 180 degree, then answer becomes A minus B. So here angle between these 2 vectors is what? 180 degree. So net resultant force we can write, suppose resultant force is what here? We can write as F2 minus F1 something, okay? This is your resultant force, okay? You can write on that side also, we don't know which force is big, okay? Now look here. Now this force and this force are what? Perpendicular to each other, right? We want to add this 90 degree, right? This force and this force are what? Perpendicular. We are adding all known forces, okay? So these are perpendicular, means cos 90 is 0. So what you get? Just A square B square. So what is the net resultant force of these 2 forces? Right, like F3 square plus what? F2 minus F1 square. This is a net force. Correct? So sum of this force plus that force should be equal to what? 0. Means that force should be equal to what? Sum of this and opposite, right? So that F dash should be equal to what? Minus of this. Net force in the closed loop is always 0. These are the forces on 3 sides, right? We have added them, we got this answer. So 4th force should be equal and opposite of that force, so that net force becomes what? 0. Okay, so it's very important okay, that any closed loop is placed inside a magnetic field, net force on that loop is always zero. Okay, apart from this, some other question also have they asked. I think this is enough to understand. Okay, closed loop, you understood then, net force in closed loop is zero. So we will talk about what torque on a closed loop, that I will talk little later. Before that I do some other questions based on just wire. So one question they ask, important question is called force between parallel wires. This is an important question. Then I will talk about loops again. Okay, force between what? Parallel wires. Suppose you have two wires, okay, and they place parallel to each other, carrying current maybe in same direction or opposite direction. Current I1, I2 placed at some distance d apart, okay, length of each piece, let's say L, correct. Then what will happen? Either they will attract each other or they will repel each other, depends upon their direction of current. So let's see. So these are two wires placed parallel to each other. They will experience some force. Okay, we want to know that how much force they will experience and whether it's attractive force or repulsive force. Okay, so what we do, let's calculate. Suppose that we want to calculate this wire, how much force it apply on this wire. Okay, we want to know this wire, how much force it apply on this wire. So we write formula. Suppose F1 is what? ILB. This is the formula, right? Okay, B is the magnetic field produced by this wire at this point. Okay, on this, what is the magnetic field due to this wire at this point? Okay, so what is formula? Mu naught I1 upon 2 pi d, right? Magnetic field due to a long straight wire, right? Yes, this is a magnetic field at this point. Then what is the force? Current means current in this wire I2, and length of this wire, let's call that. This is what your magnetic force experienced by this wire due to that wire. And when you calculate force on this wire due to that wire also comes exactly same. So they apply equal and opposite force on what? Each other. So how much force coming first? Let's write formula. So force that they apply on each other is how much? Mu naught I1 by I2 by 2 pi d into length. This is the force they apply on each other. But maximum time what will happen now? There is a force, total force. So we need length here. Generally they ask always in terms of force per unit length. Okay, because these wires will be infinite long actually. So what they ask? Force per unit length. Okay, so how much force per unit length? You just write like F by L. L you brought that other side, this is a force per unit length, and becomes mu naught I1 by I2 upon what? Just 2 pi d. Very simple formula. Okay, mu naught current in these two wires I1 I2 by 2 pi d. This is a force per unit length. So wires, listen, that two wires applies equal and opposite equal in magnitude, opposite direction on each other. So how much the force they are applying on each other is what? Exactly equal. Okay, now thing is that whether they are attracting each other or they are repelling each other. Okay, so listen carefully. Force is what? Attractive. Okay, two wires will attract each other if what? Direction of current is what? Same. If direction of current is same, like two wires, current direction same, then they will attract each other. This apply, this is wire 1, this is wire 2, right? I1 and I2. This apply force F2 on this wire apply F1 on this. So they attract each other if direction of current is what? Exactly same, right? Or force is what? Repulsive if direction of current is what? Opposite. If you apply current flowing is opposite direction like this, one wire here, then one wire opposite like this one, I1, I2, then they will repel each other. So this apply a force F2 in this direction, this will apply a force of what? F1 in that direction. But the magnitude will be exactly same only, that formula only. Total force or force per unit length. Okay, yes. Suppose two wires are placed perpendicular. If two wires are placed perpendicular, then they don't apply force. Okay, force on each other. Means if one wire is like this way, current I1, and other wire is placed like that way, okay, I2, then here force will be what? 0. They will not apply any force on each other. Force they will apply when two wires are what? Parallel to each other, okay. 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 So once more, what is the force between two parallel wires? When two parallel wires are placed and they are carrying some current, maybe same or opposite direction, then either they will attract or repel each other. How much force they apply is given by this small formula, mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi d into L. If they ask force per unit length, then L you bring here, this much only. Okay. These two wires will apply equal and opposite force on each other, right? Equal in magnitude, opposite in what? Direction. Okay, force will be attractive if direction of current is same. Okay, why this is same? Let's understand that. Why force is attractive when direction of current is same? Look here. Let's see direction of force due to this wire on this wire. Okay, how to tell? What is the magnetic field produced by this wire? When you grab this your hand, thumb showing direction current upward, fingers are going inward, right? On this side, fingers are going inward. So at this wire, field due to the first wire is produced what? Inward field. Okay, there's a field, correct? Now let's see the direction of force on this wire. We learned our left hand rule. Thumb shows direction of current in this wire upward, field is going inward. This finger shows direction of the force, field inward, thumb shows direction of current which is upward, and force is like that way. So force will be attractive on this, right? Yeah. So when two wires are having current in same direction, they will attract each other. Same way you can find force on this also. You find field due to this, then you apply same hand rule. We will see direction of force on this wire will be like that way. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now a lot of questions they have asked an exam about what? Force between two parallel wires. Okay. Let's see some example. So some question they ask like this one. This 2-3 wires will be given. They will ask you find the net force on any one wire due to other wires. Okay. So find net force on wire B due to A and what? C. So 3 wires are given. Supposed to this is a wire A and this is a wire B. And now let me draw some direction like this one. This is a wire C. So what happens? Some currents will be given 3 ampere, 2 ampere, okay, 1 ampere, and distances will be given here 1 meter, say 1 meter, right? And force on any one wire they will ask you due to the other wires. Okay. So look here. So they are asking force on wire B. This is a wire B, middle wire. Okay. Yes. Force per unit length. They are asking length is not given. Suppose or given, you can write that formula. Not given, then they ask like this format. Okay. So I'm saying force per unit length. Okay. Per unit length. Okay. Okay. So let's find what is the force on this wire. Okay. Due to what? That wire first. So these two wire A and wire B are carrying current in same direction. So this wire will apply attractive force on this. Let's call FAB. So let's calculate that at FAB. What is the answer? FAB per unit length we're talking. So mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi into D. This is the formula. Okay, mu naught is what? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Current is what? 3 ampere, 2 ampere divided by what? 2 pi into distance what? 1 meter. Okay. Okay, so this become what? 6 means 1.2 into 10 power minus 6 Newton. This is a supposed force. Okay. Now look at this wire, wire B and wire C. They are carrying current in what? Opposite direction. So they will repel each other. Means force on this wire finding. So this wire will repel this wire away. Means direction of force will in this direction, like we call force BC. So what is force BC per unit length? So you say that same formula, 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Current here and here is what? 2 into 1 by 2 pi and distance what? 1. Okay. So this become what? 4 into 10 power minus 7 Newton, or you can write 0.4 into 10 power minus 6 Newton. So these two forces are in same direction now. Angle between them is what? 0 degree. So net force will be what? Simply what? Addition of this FAB plus what? FBC. So this is what? 1.2 and 0.4 means what? 1.6 into 10 power minus 6 Newton. Yes or no? Suppose this current was upward in this wire C. Current upward, this also upward, they become parallel. Then force on this will become in that direction, right? Yes, then this force and this will be what at 180 degrees, so you have to subtract these two, so that you can find the net force by subtracting these two, right? So under this condition, both forces are coming in the same direction, so they can ask you in which direction this wire is moving in that direction, okay, right, okay. Okay, we seeing few more questions based on this wire, okay, force between what parallel wire. So once they have asked question like this way, that find force between given wire and loop. So it was asked something like this: one wire was given, straight long wire, it was carrying some current, let's say 20 ampere. Another rectangular loop was placed close to it, which also carrying some current, let's say 10 ampere, okay. And the distance between these loops were given like this. Distance was given some 10 centimeter, and side of this loop was given, say 20 centimeter, right? Yes. So these are loops, let's say name A, B, C, D. So they ask that what is the net force on this loop and that wire, and in which direction this loop will move, whether this force will be attractive or what, repulsive, okay. Okay, so how to see? Look here, this loop is just simply 4 straight wire, right? Yeah. What 4 straight wire? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So let's see. First, what is the force between this wire and that wire? What is the answer? 0. Why 0? Because this wire and that wire are perpendicular to each other. No force will act. Angle is 90 degree between what? Okay. So these two wires, so no force will act. Okay. Force will act between two parallel wires only. Okay. Similarly, there is no force on this wire also. This also what? 0 directly. Correct? Yes. So there will be force between this wire and that wire. Yes, they are parallel to each other. So you see direction of current here is what? Same. Correct? Both wires carrying current in the same direction. So attractive force will happen there in that direction. Let's call F1. Correct? So what is that F1? Let's calculate. F1 will be mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi into D. Here the side were also given. Let's say this side is a 10 centimeter something, okay, or 5 centimeter, anything. Correct? Okay. So into what? Length L. Okay. Yes. So let's put the value. Mu naught means what? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Okay. I1 I2 means current here 20 ampere, here 10 ampere, divided by 2 pi d. 2 pi d means what? Distance given what? 10 centimeter. 10 into 10 power minus 2, and length of this piece, correct? Length we need, okay, keep in mind. So it's what? 5 centimeter. Pi into 10 power minus 2. Okay, this term goes here, 5 goes 2 times, 4 pi get cancelled. So this coming 2 into 10 power minus 5 Newton. Direction already I wrote, attractive force, okay, because direction of current is what? Same. These two sides are 0 force, that we find now this side. So look at this wire and that wire are again parallel, but direction of current is what? Opposite. Correct? It means this wire will repel this wire in this direction, okay. Let's call that F2. Correct? Repulsion will happen. So what is that F2? Same formula, mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi d into length L. Mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Current 20, and here also flowing is what? 10 only. So 20 into 10, okay, by 2 pi d. 2 pi d means what is distance between this wire and that wire? 10 centimeter plus 20 centimeter. 30 into 10 power minus 2. What is length of this wire? 5 centimeter. 5 into 10 power minus 2. Okay, cancel all this number. Okay, so you see that you can cancel them. 5 goes 6 times, right? Okay, so 3 remaining here. This get cancelled. So you write 2 by 3 into 10 power what? Minus 7 Newton, or around 0.6 I am writing. Sorry, 10 power minus 5 Newton. This is the force, okay? Yes, approximately I wrote. So force between these two wires is attractive, these two wires is what? Repulsive, okay? So you want to write net force, F net. So you see two force, this force and this force are what? Opposite to each other, right now? 180 degrees the angle. So directly you can write A minus B. So obviously this minus that means 2 means what? 1.4 into 10 power minus 5 Newton will be the force. So this loop will move in that direction, because this force is what? Big. Attractive force is what? Obviously big. Okay. So these are example of what? Force between what? Two parallel wires. 2-3 wires can be given, they ask net force on any wire, is very simple, or this loop type of question also simple, nothing is there. Okay, so now these were all about wires. As I said that if a closed loop is placed in a uniform magnetic field, net force will become 0. I have given example also. So if net force is 0, then what will happen? Torque will act there. So we'll talk about the, it's called magnetic moment. So I write heading like this one, magnetic moment of a current carrying loop in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, wire we have done. Now we're talking about what? Closed loop. So on wire what we have? We have what? Force, correct na? Okay. So force we have discussed. Now we said loop we talk with closed loop, the net force is always 0. So what will have here? Magnetic moment, or you say torque. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about first magnetic moment. Okay. Okay. Look here, suppose you have coil, this is a coil, okay, and they are carrying some current. Suppose either clockwise, you say this is a clockwise current, then here I draw what? Anti-clockwise current, okay, like this way. Okay, these are the two loops, maybe circular loop, rectangular, any shape of loop, doesn't matter. Okay, so you want to know what is the magnetic moment. If some current is flowing through this loop, then what is the magnetic moment? Radius, let's call it what? R, doesn't matter. Okay, so it's a circular, rectangular, any type of loop. Okay. So what is the magnetic moment of this loop? So magnetic moment, what is the magnetic moment? Okay, we write capital M is a vector quantity. Okay, so what is magnetic moment? Magnetic moment is called current into what? Area. What is magnetic moment? Product of current into what? Area of that loop is called what? Magnetic moment. If n number of turn is given, you can write what? NIA also. Okay, number of turn is given. So current into area is called what? Magnetic moment. It's very important vector quantity, and this is very important from exam point of view. Okay, so magnetic moment of a loop. Okay, current carrying loop is what? Simply current in that loop into area of the loop. Is a circular loop, then write area is pi r square. Rectangular, then what? Length into breadth. Depends upon what type of loop is that area you can write it here. So current into area is called what? Magnetic moment. If number of turn also given here, you can multiply number of turns also, right? Okay. Now watch carefully. Few things are writing small thing. M is a vector quantity, right? Now that is clear. So vector quantity, okay. Means if you want to add to magnetic moment, you have to use vector rules, right? Yes. And let's talk what is unit of this. Unit of magnetic SI unit, right? Properly. SI unit. What is SI unit? Look here. Current into area means ampere meter square. Ampere meter square. Current into area. If you write number of turns, it will not affect your unit. So ampere meter square is what your unit. Okay. Or dimension you want to write. Then ampere power 1, L power 2. That's your dimension, right? Okay. Now important is what? Direction. Direction of magnetic moment. So what is direction? That's important. There are two ways to find direction. Suppose you know direction of the current in the loop. You know direction of current. Then you can write like this. Suppose this is what? Clockwise current. Then what you do? Listen carefully. Okay. We use a rule is called what again? Right hand rule. Right hand rule. So I don't know how many times already you have learned right hand rule for different topics. So right hand rule says that what? This is right hand. Your fingers, curling finger, you do like this one. Curling finger shows direction of current in that loop. Then thumb shows direction of the magnetic moment. What it says? Right, your curling fingers, okay, curling fingers, they show what? Direction of current in that loop. Then your thumb, that shows what? Direction of what? Magnetic moment. And for example, this is a loop. Here current is flowing about clockwise. So you have to adjust your head like this one. Your finger showing direction of clockwise. Then your thumb will be straight what? Inward. So magnetic moment is what? Inward. Perpendicular to the plane and inward. Anti-clockwise current means grab in hand like this way. So magnetic moment will be what? Outward. Correct? Finger showing the direction of the current in this loop. Then thumb shows the direction of the magnetic moment. Remember this magnetic moment is what? Area vector. Okay. You can write one more thing. Other way to say what? Direction, you can say directly how, what? Direction is what? Along what? Area vector. What is direction of magnetic moment? Some loop is given, plane, this is suppose the plane of that loop, then perpendicular to this loop is the direction of magnetic moment. Perpendicular means what? Area vector. This is the area, then this is called area vector, right now. So along this direction, what? Your magnetic moment always. Magnetic moment is always perpendicular to what? Your area or plane of that coil, given coil, okay? Yes, or you can use this rule also to find, okay? So magnetic moment is always perpendicular to the loop. This is a loop, this is the plane of the loop, perpendicular, either like this way or that inward, but always perpendicular. Inward or outward depends on direction of current, you can find from this hand rule, okay? So magnetic moment is always area vector. This is the area, then this is called what? Area vector, okay? So magnetic moment is always towards what? Along what? Area vector, okay? It's very, very important, okay? So you understood the vector quantity, dimension, units, you understood how to find direction, that also understood, right? Okay, now we want to see that, remember in electrostatics we have learned that this magnetic moment, this is a coil, okay? We saw that the net force on this coil is always 0 in uniform field. We're talking about uniform field only, okay? Keep in mind, net force is 0, so magnetic moment is there, yes, magnetic moment is there. So what will happen? Torque will act on this, okay? So we will want to know torque, but before going to torque, we see one more small thing. This magnetic moment of a circular loop, any current carrying loop is like general form like this one, current into area, okay? But a special thing that talk like this magnetic moment, okay, of water revolving charge. Some charge is there, is moving in some circular path, then it will have some magnetic moment, it will produce some magnetic field at center. This question is very, very important from exam point of view. Many times they have asked. So I am writing a subtopic of this. Let me write here, writing like this one: magnetic moment of a revolving charge. Yes, very, very important. Many questions they have asked here. Suppose you have some charge, people, okay? Some charge is moving in a circular path. It could be electron, proton, alpha, particle, doesn't matter, okay? Yes. Some charge is moving in a circular orbit, okay? Radius of that orbit, let's call I. This is charge Q moving, okay? Yes. So when charge is moving in circular path, it behaves like equivalent some current, right now? So look here, already we know that when charge is accelerating this path, it will produce some current. What is that current I? You can say Q by what? T, right? Rate of flow of charge is called current, right? So in simple language writing, current is also equal to what? Q by T, right? Q is the charge, T is the time period of revolution, right? So this formula you can also write like what? Current, this is charge by time, yes, time 1 by time period is also called frequency. You can write what? Q into what? Nu. So this is current is also equal to charge by time, current also equal to what? Charge into frequency. You can write in terms of velocity also how? Time period is what? I am writing separately. Time is what? Distance by speed, right? Distance is what? 2 pi r in one revolution by velocity v. This is also a time period. So when I put it here in this place, v will go up, I get q into v by 2 pi r. Correct? So current in terms of what? Velocity. Then you know that v by r, linear velocity by radius, also called angular velocity. So you can also write what? Q into omega by what? 2 pi. So these are so many format of the current. So they ask direct questions here. How they ask? One question they ask, magnetic field. This charge is moving in a circular path, so it will produce some magnetic field at the center of. So they will ask you what is the magnetic field produced by this charge at the center of. So they ask in different formats, sometimes like a current format. Current is general, like a time period format, frequency format, velocity format, or angular frequency format, right? How? Look here, charge moving in a circular path of radius r, it will produce some current I. So this is same, is looking equivalent to what? Like a current flowing through a closed loop, right? Circular loop. At the starting we have learned magnetic field due to wire, then we learned magnetic field due to a circular loop, right? So when current is flowing through a circular loop, what was the magnetic field at center? It was mu naught I upon 2 pi r. So this is exactly equivalent to what? That only. Charge moving in a circular path, it's just like a current moving in a circular path. So what is the magnetic field at center? First question they ask in exam is what? Okay, Before this magnetic moment, magnetic field at center due to revolving charge, right now some charge is moving in circular path, then they are asking what is the net magnetic field produced by this charge at center. So I'm writing B is what? Simplest formula is what? Mu naught I upon 2R. Correct na? Yes. This is a magnetic field produced by a current moving through a circular loop at center, which is same as by a charge moving through a loop. Okay. So generally they will not ask this format. This, okay. We have to replace, like current you can write in terms of Q and T times. You can write Q mu naught Q by 2 R and T. This is the current magnetic field in terms of what? Charge and what? Time period. Then you can write this frequency. This was asked 2 times in exam, this format. Mu naught, okay, you can write Q into nu by 2R. Correct. Okay. Then you can write in velocity format also. All this format you can replace here, just mu naught Q into V by 2 pi R, and 2R already there, so become 4 pi, correct, R square. Correct, only 2R is already there and 2 pi R square coming, so it's 4 pi and R square. You can write that format also equal to what? Mu naught Q into angular velocity by 2 pi, and we have here, so it's 4 pi and R only, correct, this much only. So these are all are the magnetic field produced by revolving charge at center. Generally we say that an electron is moving in a circular path of this much radius. What is the magnetic field that produce center? So what you have to replace this value Q only, just write here E. If they say that alpha particle is moving, then you know charge is what? Double of the electron, 2E. So you have to put here what? 2E everywhere, right? These are direct questions. Formula only they ask in exam, okay? But numerical also they can ask. There is nothing big. So once more I'm writing. This is a current, okay? Not like this. This is what? Time period format, okay? Time period. This is what? Your frequency format. Frequency. This is what? Your velocity format. And this is what? Your angular frequency or angular velocity format, okay? All these have they asked in exam, okay? Now I'll move on and I'll find the magnetic moment, okay? So the first question I answered, magnetic field due to a revolving charge at center, okay? Yes. Now we're talking magnetic moment. So look here, how to find magnetic moment. Magnetic moment formula is what? Current into what? Area, correct? Okay. Area, we know area is what? Pi R square. Suppose it's moving in a circular path, then what is the answer? Pi R square. Then what is current? Current you can replace from here. We need this format, velocity format, okay? I'm writing current is equal to what? Q into V by what? 2 pi watt R, okay? Let's put them together. Then magnetic moment becomes what? Current means Q into velocity by 2 pi R into pi R square. Thus pi goes when R is gone. So magnetic moment is coming, you know how much? Q V R by what? 2. This is a one format you have to remember. Magnetic moment in terms of velocity and what? Radius, correct? Okay. So if you go to next this, then what you'll see? Look here. This magnetic moment of revolving charge is also called what? Bohr magneton, okay? Magneton. Also called what? Bohr magneton. Or also called what? It's also called dipole moment, okay? Dipole moment. You can call dipole moment here also. Magnetic moment of carrying is also called what? Dipole moment. Keep in mind, okay? Why is called dipole moment? Because there are two poles are formed. This is a coil, there will two poles will form, one north pole and south pole. How? Current is flowing like clockwise, then you write like S symbol here, okay? This S showing the direction like what? Clockwise. You watching from this front, okay? Then S pole is formed in front, and back side of this north pole will form. Current is flowing like this way. I drawn wrong something. Okay, this is clockwise. Here I draw anti-clockwise. Both I drawn clockwise. This is anti-clockwise. Then what? Okay, this is a different picture actually. Okay, so this is for what? North. See this arrow showing like anti-clockwise current flowing. So in the front, what is pole formed? North pole formed, and back is what? South pole. So both poles are formed, so we call it dipole. Okay. Okay. So we are talking about here Bohr magneton. Current into area I wrote. I got Q V R by 2 answer. Then from Bohr model, what we have look here. You're writing from Bohr model, we have learned recently in our modern physics. Okay, Bohr model. What he said? He said that MVR, angular momentum, is what? NH upon 2 pi. Remember? Yes. So let's replace value of what here? V and R, velocity and radius. So velocity and radius is what? NH upon 2 pi m. I replace here. Then what I'm getting? Look here. And so Q by 2, and this value I'm replacing here, so become NH upon what? 2 pi m. So this is a magnetic moment of any charge moving in a circular path. So what is the answer? Q N H upon 4 pi m. So you see here all things are constant, leaving what? N. N is what? Your principal quantum number 1, 2, 3. Correct? No? So you see the magnetic moment is directly proportional to what? Principal quantum number. This question was asked in our exam. Okay. Suppose this question they ask for electron, then you put just here E. That's all. Correct? So alpha particle you put 2e, depends on what charge is given, you can put it here. So QNH 4 pi is a constant. Correct? Yes, this value is already known to us. So it depends on what? Principal quantum number. Suppose if they ask that what is smallest value of what? Magnetic moment of a revolving electron in hydrogen atom. Okay, then here you have to put what? N is what? 1. First orbit will have smallest magnetic moment, because magnetic moment is directly proportional to what? Principal quantum number. Okay, so look here, this format has been asked many times. Magnetic field due to a revolving charge at center. Okay, yes. Then this question was also asked in this format: magnetic moment in terms of velocity and radius. This is a magnetic moment in terms of principal quantum number. Okay, whatever charge given, that charge you can put here in mass. Okay, then this relation was also asked. Now one more, angular momentum and magnetic momentum relation was asked. Look at this format. Okay, here itself. If you see carefully, what is angular momentum? L is what? MVR, right? V and R already we have. So to convert this formula into angular momentum format, you multiply M and divide by what? M. Then what you'll get? You see M vector is equal to, look here, charge into what? L vector by what? 2M. This is angular momentum and what? Magnetic moment relation. How? I have multiplied here M divided by M. So MVR is called your angular momentum. So Q into angular momentum by what? 2M. So magnetic moment and angular momentum relation. This was also asked in our exam. Okay, simple. Okay. So this I have discussed that what is a magnetic moment or revolving charge. Generally they talk about what? Electron here. You can put everywhere. I am putting Q, you put there E, right? Okay, but they can ask for any charge particle. Okay, yes. Okay, so now I will talk that this magnetic moment, this coil is also called a dipole moment, right? Is placed inside some external magnetic field, then what torque is experiencing. Torque and what we'll talk about, torque and like work done and these things. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about now, like we say that magnetic dipole, or you say your coil, simply placed in uniform external magnetic field. So do not confuse me. What's the meaning of dipole? Dipole means just your coil. Okay, we will see another again magnetic dipole when we talk about bar magnets in next chapter. Okay, bar magnet is also a dipole only because it has north pole, south pole. This dipole we have learned in electrostatic also, like two charges are placed at some distance apart, that's called an electric dipole. Same way is what magnetic dipole, we say in two ways. One in terms of bar magnet, north pole, south pole, is a bar magnet, it's a dipole, and in terms of what, like current carrying coils also. Okay, yes. Okay, so what happened? Magnetic dipole or coil is placed in uniform external field. Then we are interested that how much torque will be acting on that and how much force will be acting. So uniform field we are talking, keep in mind always. Okay, so this is a coil. Okay, is carrying some current, is placed some uniform field. This is a field, suppose. Then some questions you want to answer. First question number 1, what is the net force acting on this? What is the answer? Directly 0. I told you many times, right? Any closed loop is placed in uniform magnetic field, the net force is always 0. Second thing you want to know, what is torque acting? Yes, torque will act. Torque is given simple formula mb sin theta. What is torque? mb sin theta, or in vector form you can write T vector is equal to what? M cross B. This is your magnetic, the torque acting on a dipole or a coil simply, right now? Yes. M cross B. So in vector form you can also write like scalar form. M is what? NIA, correct? Na? Current into area is called magnetic moment. So NIAB sin theta. You can write like this also, right? If you watch carefully here, suppose if theta is equal to 0 degree, correct? Na? Theta is equal to 0 degree. In that case, your torque becomes what? 0. So this is condition is called stable equilibrium. You put your coil in such a way that the angle between magnetic moment and magnetic field is what? 0 degree. Then this is called stable equilibrium. Your coil will not deflect at that point. Okay. Yes. So watch carefully. This angle is between what? Magnetic moment. Theta is between magnetic moment and magnetic field. Correct, na? So magnetic moment is again always perpendicular to what? Your coil. Keep on. Okay. Yes. Okay. Suppose if theta is what? 180 degree. Then again torque is what? 0 only. But this is called what? Unstable equilibrium. Okay, unstable equilibrium. Or if you say if theta is equal to what? 90 degree, then your torque become maximum. How much? Is called MB. This is the maximum torque acting under that condition, right? So understand, it's very important. This angle sin theta is the angle between magnetic moment and what? Magnetic field. And magnetic moment is again perpendicular. Suppose you talk this case, okay? Suppose this picture is given to you, means magnetic field is inward, and coil is placed here, and this is the direction of current. Suppose clockwise, I am saying. If direction of current is clockwise, then what is the magnetic moment direction, right now? Like look here, this rule, right? So current flowing clockwise, magnetic moment is what? Inward. So what is the magnetic moment direction? Also what? Inward only, right? And B direction also what? Inward only, right? Now we have shown. Both are inward, means what's the angle here? In this case, 0 degree. 0 degree means torque will be what? 0. Correct, na? So maximum time when they ask questions, this in our exam, they always give angle between what? Plane of the coil. Plane of this your coil and magnetic field. Remember that we need angle between magnetic moment and magnetic field. So they gives angle between what? Plane of the coil and magnetic field. Suppose say plane is making, let's say that plane is making angle of what? Like let's say that plane making angle of what? Some 30 degree with what? Magnetic field. Let's say magnetic field, that's what your plane, right now. So they gives like angle between what? Plane of the coil and magnetic field, suppose 30 degree. Then what's the angle between magnetic moment and magnetic field? Becomes what? 90 minus 30, 60, right? 60 degree. How? So watch carefully. This is, suppose this is direction of magnetic field, and coil is placed at some angle. Okay, this picture little bad. I draw another picture. Suppose, okay, I explain with help of example. This is the plane of the coil, okay? This is your coil. And I'm saying that this is a magnetic field making an angle of what? 30 degree with the coil. Here this angle with my hand is what? 30 degree. My hand is the coil, okay? Plane of the coil, and this is what your direction of magnetic field. This angle is 30 degree. Then we need angle between magnetic moment and magnetic field. This is a magnetic field only, this line. Magnetic moment will be perpendicular toward my hand. Means like here, this is a magnetic moment, that's magnetic field. This angle given 30, then that angle obviously becomes what? 60 degree, right? So you have to understand careful that this angle sin theta is between magnetic moment and magnetic field, okay? Yes. Okay, so magnetic force is 0, magnetic torque they asking, then is already answer here. Third question they ask is what? Work done in rotating your coil. Work done in rotating coil from some initial angle theta 1 to what? Final angle theta 2. You want to rotate this coil by some angles from initial to some final angle, and what's work done? So how we write work done? We write integration of torque into what? D theta from theta 1 to theta 2. This formula we have seen in rotation chapter, right? Work done is equal to what? So torque is how much? Theta 1 theta 2 mb sin theta into what? D theta. Okay, integration of sin theta becomes minus cos theta, then you put limit, so this answer comes work done will be equal to what? And you take outside cos theta 1 minus what? Cos theta 2. That's a simple what? Work done when you rotate a coil from given some initial angle theta 1 to the final angle theta 2, how much work you will do, right? Okay. One last question they can ask, small questions called potential energy stored in what? Dipole, right? How much energy is stored at given angle, okay? So what is the answer? Simply potential energy simply equal to work done only. So at some angle is given to you, you want to find the sum simply mb what cos theta. That's what potential energy under that given angle. That's all. One particular angle we will given, that dipole is placed as 30 degree. Okay. Then what is the energy stored in that dipole? What is the answer? mb cos theta only. Okay. So these are the small questions about this. Okay. Yes. Okay. I will do some numerical example on this also. Before that, one small topic, last topic we have from this chapter, that we do. Okay. Application, we have our MCG, moving coil galvanometer. Okay, let's write moving coil galvanometer. Okay. Look here, this word already we have learned in last chapter, current electricity, that galvanometer is a device which can measure your current and potential. You can convert this into what, ammeter or what, voltmeter, by simply connecting a resistance with it in series or parallel, right? Here we are learning how that really work internally. Okay. Yes. So how it works, that you want to know here, moving coil galvanometer. So let's see carefully. Okay, I write few points. First was the use of this guy to measure your current and potential, right? Current and what? Potential. Then what is the principle of this working? Principle is this, that a current carrying coil is placed inside a magnetic field that will experience what? Torque. Correct na? What is the working principle? When, let me write here, when a current carrying coil is placed in uniform magnetic field, it will experience what? Torque. This is a working principle like you have done. When you put a closed loop inside a magnetic field, it will experience a torque given by this formula, right? So what happens? Here also we have some coil, maybe like circular coil or rectangular coil. Suppose this coil we have rectangular shape. Okay, correct. It's a coil, it has some number of turns on this. Okay, supported by some frame. Okay, so this is a rectangular coil. Okay, it's hanged by a help of a thread which has good elasticity and is supported by a spring below it. Okay, just spring. So this is spring, this is a thread. So frame is there, we hang with the help of thread and supported with the help of a spring. Correct? Okay. Then what happens? We produce magnetic field, uniform magnetic field perpendicular to this coil, north pole, south pole, some permanent magnet or electromagnet we can have. Generally we have permanent magnet like this one. Okay, so this is your magnetic field. Okay, yes. Now what happens? Look here, we have magnetic field, just we have coil. Now we need what? Current. Okay, so the circuit where you want to measure current, what you do, you take one connection from here, one connection from here, connect your circuit where you want to measure your current, like some battery or something, right? Now what happens when current start flowing in this loop? Okay, current start flowing, this loop is placed inside a uniform magnetic field, so it will deflect. Correct? It will experience some torque. Correct? So when this frame deflect, this frame rotate, and this spring is attached to what? This frame only, right? When this frame rotate, the spring also get what? Twisted, right? So a restoring torque is developed inside the spring, because spring, if you twist a spring, it want to come back to the original position, right? Now, so look here, two type of torques are happening here. So look here, torque in coil is what? Torque in what? Coil. Torque is developed in coil due to what? Current, right? Now, due to what? Current, right? So how much that torque is what? We know formula mb sin theta. M is what? NIA, sine is what? 90 degree. We always produce a field perpendicular to what? Magnetic field. Okay, because we have permanent magnet. Then restoring torque in what? Spring. So spring is attached with your frame. When frame rotates, spring also get twisted. So restoring torque is developed in the spring. How much that developed? So we know that restored torque is equal to what? This is due to what? Coil. This is what? In spring. That we write simply K into theta. Right? K is a constant. It's called torque constant, or theta is called angle of what? Twisting. Right? So these two torque balance each other. Right now. So when you balance them, you will see that K into theta is equal to NIAB, right? So theta is equal to what? NAB by K into what? I. this is a constant. Number of the turns in the coil is constant, area of this coil is constant, magnetic field is constant, and spring constant or torque constant is what? A constant. So you see deflection is directly proportional to what? Current, right? The more the current passes through this coil, more will be the deflection of this coil. So what happens? A pointer is attached toward this frame again, okay? Pointer attached, and there is scale outside, it's a linear scale, right? So this is your pointer is calibrated, okay, according to what? The deflection of the frame. More the deflection frame, more this pointer will move and shows what? More reading on your scale, correct? So deflection in this coil will be directly proportional to what? How much current flowing through the coil. So we have a linear scale here which shows the reading according to what? How much current coming in, that much deflection it shows, okay, right? Okay, so very simple. Now look here, two small points we have here. One point is called current sensitivity. We write IS symbol. So small thing, look here, what is current sensitivity? Look here, how much deflection happening per unit current. So this, okay, let's write this is what? Nothing but deflection per unit current. This is called what? Current sensitivity. How much deflection happening for the given current, okay? This tell you like the quality of galvanometer. Like this is current sensitivity is high, means what? This is giving what? Very accurate reading, okay? So look here, look at this formula. Theta is equal to what? NAB by K into I. This I you bring down. Theta by I is equal to NAB by K. So deflection per unit current means theta by I. This is called your current sensitivity IS, correct? Okay, so this is what your formula for your current sensitivity. What? Theta by I, or you can write NAB by K also. So only once in our exam this question was there, asked that how to increase the current sensitivity, okay? How to increase current sensitivity. So what method here? You can increase these three things: number of the turns, area, and magnetic field of here, or you can decrease what? K, correct? Okay. Similarly, we write what? Voltage sensitivity. Vs we write. So again same definition, deflection per unit voltage, correct na? Deflection per unit voltage, thus become your voltage sensitivity. So Vs also what? Simply theta by what? V, correct? Look at this formula, this is current, this is what? Current. You divide by resistance, you multiply resistance, that becomes what? Your voltage. So NABK into what? R, correct? This becomes your voltage sensitivity, either theta by voltage or this formula also, right? So same way, if you want to increase or decrease your voltage sensitivity, what you will do? You can increase these three things, or you can decrease two things, where R is what? Resistance, okay, correct? So this is a simple working of the galvanometer, okay, based on the principle that when a current carrying coil is placed inside a magnetic field, it will experience what? Torque, okay, yes, okay. So now what we will do, we will see some numerical on this part, okay, mainly the magnetic moment and what? Torque, okay.